again. Thank you for watching another one of my videos. Recording a little bit later than I normally do because let's just say I had an incident with some lactose. I am lactose intolerant and didn't think what I was eating contained enough to make me sick, but suffice to say it did. So I felt pretty crap and had a nap. So I am sorry if the lighting is off in this video, but I would rather have it up and have some poor lighting than not get it up this week, because tomorrow is just an insane day, so there is no way I'm going to get it done then. Today is brought to you by black tea to try and help me feel better, because I still feel a bit sick. It's quite hot because it's black. But anyway, going to get into it. I don't know how much I have to share, but let's see how long this goes. First off, I have exciting news. I got happy mail. Now, I alluded to this on, I think, my Thursday update on my Instagram account. I didn't get a lot of stitching done because instead of stitching at dancing, I went to the mail because I had a package. And here it is. I got a Lowry. It's amazing. Oh my god, guys. Thank you to Fleur, who introduced me to this. I had no idea what it was. As you saw, I got the dish that goes on it because I wanted something to put my stuff on. I am wanting to buy an iPad holder. I found one. I'm not sure if I can buy it yet though. I'm giving up spending for Lent and I don't know if it counts. Like, it's obviously spending, but it goes with that. But I'll probably wait till after Lent. It's not that big of a deal that I, don't have an iPad holder. I can rig it up enough that I can see, and most of my stitching gets done at dancing anyway. But with it, I got a light. It's the Hammerhead, also recommended by Fleur. I was looking at a lot of options for floor stands because they've got the daylight bulbs and generally a lot better for stitching, but luckily before I purchased one I realised that I wouldn't get time to use it. 15 hours a week at stitching, 15 hours a week of stitching at dancing versus maybe 3 hours at home. So I got the Hammerhead. It's portable, clips to my Q-snap. It is amazing. Never realised how bad the lighting was at dancing until now. But I have that, so no more excuses. My plans changed a little bit from last week. Sorry. I got a migraine on Thursday. It wasn't a true migraine because I've got the piercing, and oh my goodness, actually works. Like, I used to suffer from 3 a week, got that, haven't had one since. When I do get migraines, it's just a really bad headache. But I actually lost my contacts on Wednesday. I think I'd accidentally put one in inside out. It dropped out when I was trying to fix it and I couldn't find it. Went to every optometrist, or called every optometrist in Canberra, and I think there were like 5 or 6 of them. Not one of them had my script, so I stupidly didn't have backup contacts, and I hadn't yet purchased glasses because I lost my old prescription on the way to Melbourne. Don't know how, but so I went 5 days without my corrective lenses, and let's just say my headache got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So I didn't want to work on motherhood like I planned because I really did not want to stuff that up. Like, I have unpicked that so many times. I think I would cry if I had to unpick it again. Oh, I've got more happy mail. We're not ready for whips. So just like Gerald, my so-and-so order came with a free diary. Beautiful. Like, I don't need a diary. I plan like no one's business, but I plan on my iPad. I've got the iPad Pro and the Apple Pencil, but I couldn't just let this beauty sit there doing nothing, and I didn't want to throw it out. So what I've decided to do, this is going to be for my Hades purely. I'm going, you can sort of see that. When I stitch on it, I'm going to put the name and how many stitches I was able to do. And you saw that right, I started a Hade. We'll get to that later, but oh my god, I started a Hade. Only, 121 to go. Other stitchy mail, and I completely blame Michelle for this. Doesn't count against my Lenten promise because I bought it well before Lent. It only just arrived. I got the 2 Michael Powell books. Now, this surprises even me. When I first saw Michael Powell, it's not that I didn't like his art, I didn't think it was for me. But Michelle showed so many in her videos. I'm going to link her below because she's just awesome. You probably all watch her anyway. She showed so many pieces of his art. I fell in love and I had to get them. So I've now got the mini cross stitch and the Christmas cross stitch, and I will be on the hunt for the rest of his collection after Lent. Now, I think we're ready to go into whips. As I said, I didn't get a lot done on motherhood because stupid head. I'll put in a photo here of what it looked like before this week. Oh my goodness, how do I forget? Seriously guys, I'm so sorry. But this is what it looks like now. So I haven't done a huge amount, but I've also done a bit. It's not where I wanted to be this week, but I'm okay with that. And because Gerald reminded me, show your backside. So I used to be really, really particular about my back. This one is not as particular as I am. I'm pretty particular on my Hades. They're going to be as neat as I can, but I figure I gotta get this done, and you're not going to know. My sister's not going to care. My nephew's not going to care. So I carry thread because Hades have a lot of confetti. So yes, not as much as I wanted, but I did get to work on it before the headache struck, and you can probably tell that's the end of page 1, the little border bit. So I do want to do a little bit of working on this week. I probably won't get a huge amount done, as I think the majority of my time at dancing I'm actually going to be organising my stitching stuff rather than stitching. There will be an update next week though, because I will be stitching quotes on my lunch break, and I'm going to put in a photo here. Of what it looked like last time. And this is what it looks like now. So I have done a fair bit, I think. I don't know guys, what do you think of the colours? They're probably not showing up too well because actually yeah, they're showing up pretty true to life. I'm just questioning everything. It's really hard doing your own colour conversion. And again, show your backside. That one's not as messy, I don't think, but whatever. And you can't really see the back stitching on Liv. The colours just don't lend themselves for it. I'm going to leave it there. Luckily the back stitch up the top here with the design is going to be a lot easier to see, but I'm going to leave it in the Live By, even though you can't really see it. But yeah, I'm questioning, guys. I'm loving the fact that I don't have to do the border anymore. Oh my god, am I loving the fact that the border is done. So yes, border is done, no more border. But yeah, questioning the colours a little bit. But I'll continue because I'm not unpicking that and I don't hate them enough to unpick. So yes, quotes to live by. Hoping I can get this top, it's not really a quote, this finished, hopefully, by next week. That's the plan. I don't know if it's possible, but I'm going to give it a red hot go. Now, my Hade. I wasn't planning on working on any of my Hades until I had them all. Not that I wanted it to be like that, but that's unfortunately what my OCD told me. But then I had an idea. While stitching on quotes, I hate stitching above an existing stitch. It's completely my own fault. I used 3 strands over 1 on 18 count, and I know that's a lot, and it is a bit bulky, but I can't stand the coverage of 2. So 3 it is. So yeah, I discovered that I hate stitching on top of an existing stitch. So as my mind is constantly moving, I thought, well, why don't we avoid that completely and stitch by row on, it's parking. I'm parking by row. I didn't think I'd be okay with parking because messy, but I think it's organised enough that I should be okay, and it means I won't have to stitch above a stitch, so that's a winner for me. So, fingers of God, I have only done 25 stitches, if you saw in the book, but there is my start, and I'm loving it. I'm not as much as I wanted, and this is what I'm pretty much going to be working on next week. I spent more time looking for the colour I needed than I did actually stitching. This was done Wednesday night, I want to say. That's 2 hours of stitching, and that's pitiful. Like, I don't think I'm a fast stitcher by any stretch of the imagination, but 2 hours, that is pitiful. And in case you haven't seen Fingers of God, it's huge. And it's amazing, and I'm going to own all of Jeff's artwork that Hade does because, oh my god, his artwork is amazing. Other than the one I didn't do because of the... Anyway, we've been through that. So yeah, and the back side, quite chunky because, like, there's 3 strands. I don't care. I use the pin stitch to start, so leaves a bit of weight, but I'm okay with that because it doesn't move. So yes, that is what I started because I didn't want to wait for all of my Hades not knowing if this would work. So hopefully that means that some of the meds I'm on are working and maybe I can make a few starts as I am planning one for my birthday. So I'm loving all the birthday stitch alongs that are happening and I've decided to get in on my own. So it's a while away, my birthday's not till June, but I'm going to make a start on Fairy Bubbles. This is the chart that got me into cross stitching. I fell in love with this chart and had to do it. I've started it a couple of times, a few things happened, didn't get done, but I've now bought the Supersize Max colour. So I will be starting that on my birthday, and if anyone wants to stitch along with me, Josephine Wall. If not enough people like her art, Hade. But that's what's happening, June, so plenty of time. If you want, I'm going to start it on my birthday because, as I said, it was what got me into cross-stitching. I'm dying to see it. It is such a beautiful chart. I'll pop a photo in here. Yeah, like, I'm just in love. Like, I can't share my love of this chart enough. So that's a plan. Hopefully I'll get this down pat. What I'm thinking is floss cards. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't have a way to transport my floss and keep it in order. I've got the floss bags, as I've shared before. While my bag storage works at home, there's too much space above them. So if I actually try and transport them, they get completely out of order. So that's not going to work. And I can't think of a way, unless I can find a container that will hold them tight enough to be able to keep them in order. But I'm thinking I'm going to make floss cards. So that's what I'm going to be working on at dancing, because you can't just copy and paste from the PDF, because for some reason it doesn't like, even though I've got the font that Michelle uses, I asked her what font it is, and I have that font, but it doesn't work. So I've got to figure out a way to consistently have the symbols displayed, like same size and everything, so I can just do it for all of my charts if it works, obviously. I won't put a huge amount of floss on there because like it's maximum 3 hours of dancing, so I'll only put enough that I think I need in any given 3-hour stitching session, unless I go to the stitching catch up, but I'm pretty sure that's only 3 hours anyway. So yeah, there'll be a couple of lengths on it, and hopefully I'll get that working. If I get that done, I actually want to start converting my kitchen charts, calling my kitchen charts because they're going in the kitchen, the blobs of watercolour with Alessandra Adelaide's tea. I want to get started on those. Like, I really want to get started on those, so I'm going to probably make those into patterns over the week. I've got to finish charting the pattern for the 100 subscriber giveaway because we are getting super close, and I am super freaking out because, oh my goodness, how? But I love it. I love you guys for it, but I want to finish that and have it test stitched, so you're not waiting, essentially. Oh, one thing I want to mention. Michelle brought it up in, I'm pretty sure, her last video, that one of her projects doesn't have a lot of fabric allowance. Now, if you see, none of mine do. That's probably the max fabric allowance I'm going to have on any one of my charts. I think I've even got a couple little less than this. And you know what? I don't care. Like, I know you should have this much for framing and this and that, and I know it probably makes it easier, but I don't have a lot of play money because we send our kids to an insane amount of dancing in private school, and that's our choice. I'm not upset. Would definitely prefer to give them the experience over myself. Like, there's time for spending money on me when they're all grown up, but I want to be able to do my craft. So I get every amount of AIDA that I can. I don't want to buy a huge amount more just to have this side allowance, like the fabric allowance. Like my supersize max colors, I could have used an entire 1.5 by 2 meter fabric because of fabric allowance. I didn't. I just made it really tight on the edges. If I need to sew some other fabric on to frame it, I'll do that. But I would rather have, you know, a smaller amount of fabric allowance that maybe allows me to get another chart out of it. Like the AIDA I buy for my supersizes, I get 2 or 3 charts out of the remainder. If I had have done it with proper fabric allowance, I don't. So don't think you have to. It probably makes it easier, but I never finished anything. I think at one point there was like this much. I still managed. Sure, it's not centered because of it, but I made so many mistakes. Well, not so many mistakes. I didn't plan that one through and actually center it because I just wanted it done. It was funny. Whatever. It's not something that I've spent 100 hours on. So yeah, sorry for that mini rant. But speaking of 100 hours, this is a paid app, but I've decided, and this is one of the reasons that I had to restart and unpick all my Hades. So it's called A Tracker. It's down the bottom there. Looks like time with things. You can go in, because I think there might be a free version, but I've got the paid version, so I can have as many activities as I want. And what I'm doing I've made a cross stitch section. That's really, I think I've got to turn down the brightness, don't I? Nope, you don't want to see that. That's a little bit. So I've got a cross stitch section. I'm not actually keeping up with motherhood, so whatever. But you can go in and it will tell you the report of how much time you've spent on it. So I'm keeping track that way just because I want to. Like, I don't know why, but I want to know how much time I spend on something. So that's how I'm tracking my Hades. Okay, 1.5 hours for that, not 2. Silly me. But yeah, so I'm doing that. So at the end of a project, I will be able to say, I have worked on this for X number of hours. I'm probably not going to do that for most of my projects. Probably just hate. But yeah, just wanted to, that was a tangent because I didn't spend much time on that, so I don't care if it's centered. But yeah, so I could do it. I'm not sure if I'm game enough to try and frame my own Hades, but by the time I get a finish on them, I'm going to have framed everything else, so maybe. We'll see. After that rant, I am sorry, but I don't want people to think that it's necessary to have this huge thing. Again, it's probably better, but you can fudge it. Shoutouts. I have only watched one new to me YouTuber this week. Actually, has it been this week? Must have been. Anyway, Tash the Star-Crossed Stitcher. I knew she was an Aussie, so I just wanted to watch her next. And it turns out she lives in Canberra. So I'm probably going to see her at one of the catch-ups, which is awesome. I've only got 4 videos of hers left, which makes me really upset, but it means that I'm going to be able to meet someone new next week. Or tonight, maybe, because I had a nap, so I'm not tired even though it's 8 o'clock. What can you do? So, yeah, I'll link her below, obviously. I think she's great. She has a stash that is so, like, I am so envious of it. Like, I don't think I'd stitch most of it, but oh my god, if I had a stash that big, I would be in heaven. Moving on, the book I've read this week, it hurt me, but not in the way you think. I don't mind cliffhangers in books, I really don't. In fact, I kind of like them, because then you're excited for the next one. Like, you're always excited for the next one if it's a good book, but like with cliffhangers, you stalk the author. This was one of those. So, it's Cursed by Grace White. As you can see, it is an advanced review copy. I work with this author and read a lot of her books before they're released. This is for review. I did actually pick up an error though, so yay, I'm useful and not just, you know, taking advantage of an author to give us some reviews. But when this comes out the 5th of March, you need to buy this. Need. Love it so much. You need it. So Cursed by Grace White. She also writes under another name. Let's see if I've got one of her books here, which are also awesome and you need them. Pretty sure. No, that's not. I think this is the first one. No, this is book 2. Do I have? I'm sorry, I should have been more organised. Should have known that I'd want to share her other. You know what? going to show it anyway. Wicked Rules by L.A. Cotton. So this is the second one. Again, it's an advanced reader copy. I buy them. Like, I work with a few authors. Again, indie authors who are self-publishing. Nothing wrong with that. Like, there are some gems in the self-publishing world. Don't listen to everything you've heard about how bad it is. So I work with a few. I get quite a few advanced reader copies. But the thing is, if I like a book, I'm going to support the author and buy it when it's out. So, like, I guess not that there's an issue with it, because they are giving it to people to review when it's there. And they know that some people aren't going to buy it, but I'm not one of those people. If I like a book, I will buy it, and I'll probably read it again. I've read that series 3 times now. It's good. So good. So L.A. Cotton and Grace White. You need to discover her and have her in your world. I think that's almost it. I think. So just to reiterate my plans for this week, stitching on quotes on my break. I'm going to work on the charting of this 100 subscriber giveaway. I'm going to work on the charting of the watercolour blob, and I'm going to figure out how to do floss cards. So hopefully, even though there won't be a lot of progress next week, the week after I'll be able to. And I kind of also really want to pick a Michael Powell. Maybe Christmas. It's only February. Yeah, I'll see if I've got any scraps that can fit a Michael Powell, and maybe I'll start one of those as well. But there will be stitching, because on my Instagram, which I'll link below, I do daily updates. I try and make it so it's not one stitch. Like, I try and stitch something that's worth looking at a photo of. So there'll be something every day. So there'll be something next week, but maybe not as much as I am able to normally put out, because I'll be using dancing time on my laptop to get some organising done. But that's part of stitching, yeah. I don't know what's going to happen when I start gridding, because that's not exciting to show you guys, but it's a really important part of my process. There may be, if parking by row works, I won't have to grid my Heaven and Earth designs. I'm going to have to think on this, because on the Heaven and Earth designs, even though the backside doesn't matter, I've just got a rule with it that I don't carry a thread more than 9 stitches. So if it's more than 9 stitches away, I finish it off. But if I'm parking by row and I'm only going 9 stitches, I may not have to grid. Interesting. Sorry, that only just occurred to me. So if this works, my Heaven and Earth design charts are a lot closer than I thought. I do have 2 rolls of fishing line though. I'm going to think on that. We'll see how I go. I don't know. I do still grid other things. Maybe I just won't grid my heads anymore. Let me think on that. May have a resolution for you next week. Not that you care. It was, again, a note randomly, because when I grid, it takes time and there's nothing really to show. But maybe I'll do that on my breaks and stitch at dancing, or vice versa. You don't care. I'm going to let you go, because I am rambling and I'm still not well. I'm pretty flushed because the lamp is hot and I'm still not well, and I'm drinking hot tea and it's hot, and I turned off the air conditioning because it's quite loud, and I'm just going to let you go. So thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it so much, and I'll see you next week. Hope the frog stays away for you. Bye.